The New York Knicks are making moves as rookie Pacome Dadiet has been called up from the Westchester Knicks to play with the big ball club. And also, Knicks fans are fired up at Tom Thibodeau's lack of playing the bench and the lack of Ariel Hukporti, who feels like he could be the most consistent center option for the Knicks while Karl Anthony Towns and Mitchell Robinson are out. And we're going to break this all down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into things as always. If you guys like the videos, make sure to subscribe to the channel. It really does help us out a ton. 28% of viewers are subscribed. However, let's jump into this. That is not what you guys are here for. So let's take a look at the New York Knicks. Pacome Dadiet, as revealed by the Knicks PR, has been called up. Now, the Knicks PR announced this yesterday, saying the New York Knicks recall Pacome Dadiet from the Westchester Knicks. Now, Dadiet this season with the New York Knicks has been putting up 1.6 points, 1.1 rebounds, half an assist, is shooting 36% from three and 30% from the field in very, very, very limited minutes, to where that shouldn't really concern anyone that he's not playing up to snuff right now, especially when he's a long-term project pick. But it is interesting that the New York Knicks have called him up. The Knicks clearly have a bench issue. Mikal Bridges and Anunoby, along with Josh Hart, are all playing too many minutes. And I just released a video not that long ago. However, got a ton of negative feedback for the fact that I did not bring up last game. In all honesty, guys, I did film that video before the Timberwolves game. I thought the Knicks were going to beat the Timberwolves. And then I dropped it anyway. It was scheduled. That's my bad. That happens. But look, we have to talk about this issue because the New York Knicks, they've brought up Pacome Dadiet, and they have to play him. I'm sorry, there's no way around it. The New York Knicks have to play Pacome Dadiet. I understand he's a rookie. I understand he's raw. I understand they shouldn't play him in the playoffs, but right now it's the middle of January. It's Saturday, January 18th. Frankly, I don't care if the Knicks lose games because they're playing their bench more. We talked about this on the Knicks Happy Hour show yesterday, that it makes no sense. There's no reason to play someone on a random Tuesday in January, as Ariel said, and he's absolutely right. The New York Knicks are playing their starters too many minutes. Now, Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns, they get a pass. They're two of the best players in the NBA. Karl Anthony Towns, I mean, he's top 3 in MVP voting. He absolutely should be playing heavy minutes because he's one of the best players in the NBA this season. Meanwhile, Jalen Brunson is the engine that makes the Knicks run, so Jalen Brunson should as well be playing high minutes as one of the other best players in the NBA. Meanwhile, the New York Knicks are overplaying OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, and Josh Hart, and it's definitely leading to fatigue. And Tom Thibodeau refuses to play the New York Knicks bench whatsoever for some weird reason. I mean, it's getting absolutely absurd. I had multiple people mention it in the comments and then unsubscribe to Knicks Digest over this. But they said that I should have mentioned the fact that Cameron Payne is not getting minutes. And here's the deal. Cameron Payne should be getting more minutes. There's no way around it. He played an awesome game against the Minnesota Timberwolves and Tibbs pulled him. Cameron Payne played phenomenally against the Bucks last Sunday and Tibbs pulled him. It's very strange that Cameron Payne does not get more minutes when he's clearly one of the best players on the New York Knicks bench, arguably the best player on the New York Knicks bench. He's been better than Deuce McBride recently. He's been better than everyone. And you look at the New York Knicks bench, and they're struggling. Now, no, Cameron Payne cannot replace Mikal Bridges or OG Anunoby from a forward perspective, but he does give you a guy who you could play next to Deuce McBride, and you also have Precious Achiuwa and Jericho Sims, who are usually going to be coming off the bench, along with Ariel Hukporti, which we'll get into in 1 minute, I promise. But with Pacome, they have to play him. The Knicks need someone who can be a forward to take some pressure off of Mikal and OG. They should be playing Payne more. They should be playing Deuce more. They should be playing a backup big more, but they do the backup big minutes fine. But Pacome Dadiet has to get out there. I understand Pacome is not the world's greatest player right now. In the G League, he's putting up 13 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 2 assists per game. He's not shooting efficiently from the field. However, I don't care. His defense looks good, and that's enough to play the man as a ninth man. The Knicks need to expand this rotation. It's getting problematically bad. The Knicks got ransacked by a mid-Minnesota Timberwolves team, which was just a bummer of a game through and through. They let Anthony Edwards just torch him, despite the fact that OG Anunoby historically has been very good against Anthony Edwards. Just an ugly, ugly, ugly game by the New York Knicks, and just an ugly, ugly, ugly time to be a New York Knicks fan right now, which is weird saying considering they're still good, but I'm hanging out with Marcel too much the way I'm talking so fast. Shout out Marcel Martin and Mavericks Digest. He was a guest on Happy Hour last night, and I'm picking up the fast talking from him. But Pacome, He's got to play. There's no other way around it. The Knicks have to play Pacome Dadiet. They don't have anyone else. They don't have another 6'7", 6'8" forward. The Knicks need another 6'7", 6'8" forward. And Pacome's defense has been very good this season. He's shown promise as a three-point shooter. That's enough to stick him in for 15 minutes a night, and Tibbs has to do it. Now, on the flip side of things, you look at the only other guy who could play the wing off the bench against Landry Shamet, who's not getting consistent minutes because he didn't play well enough, and Tibbs gave up on him. Now, he's averaging nearly 3 points per game, shooting 39% from the field and 20% from three. He's just not playing well, if I'm being honest. There's no way around it. He's not playing well. Landry Shamet is playing worse than Dadiet would. He's also smaller than Dadiet. Dadiet can guard 3 positions from the 2, the 3, and the 4. Landry Shamet cannot guard a power forward. Pacome can. You need that versatility out there when OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges are playing too much. And also, on a side note, what the hell is Cameron Payne doing not getting more minutes? He's averaging 7 points per game, and that would shoot up if he played more minutes. The man's 42% from three, 44% from the field. He's the best player on the Knicks bench right now. He's shooting 54% on corner threes. The man has been so damn good. His defense is a very nice bright spot that no one really saw coming unless you were a big Cameron Payne fan. But also Sean Bernard of Sixers Digest did tell me his defense is always a pleasant surprise. It's not elite, but it is better than what you think you'd be getting out of a shot-creating, shooting backup point guard, which he's absolutely right about, so shout out to Sean for getting that one spot on. The Knicks, there's no way around it. Tom Thibodeau is absolutely committing malpractice right now. It's just the way things are. Charlie Knicks, our live stream moderator, did mention that he'd like the Knicks to trade for Eric Spoelstra, giving whatever they can. He's absolutely right. It's just a matter of something that would not happen. Also, if you guys do want some shout-outs on the channel, tune into the live streams. I'll remember your names then, and then you'll get some shout-outs. But that's why Charlie gets the shout-outs. He's our guy. He's our mod. But talking about Thibodeau, talk about the New York Knicks, there's clearly an issue here, and the issue is Tom Thibodeau is not playing the bench at all. Tibbs stopped doing this. He used to be completely normal last year and play not a single Knick in top 10 minutes. Now there's all the starting five. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely not a measurement for winning. I don't think Tom Thibodeau is going to win a championship on the New York Knicks, and I think the New York Knicks are going to realize that Tom Thibodeau is not the answer, and I think he's not going to get fired, but I think he's going to get forced up into the front office when Leon Rose decides to move elsewhere. I mean, tell me Mike Brown would not be an excellent coach with this Knicks team right now. I know he got fired, and if a head coach gets fired, usually it's not a great sign, but hey, Kenny Atkinson got fired off the Brooklyn Nets. Now he should win Coach of the Year this year. Mike Brown was a Coach of the Year. He got fired. Coach of the Years get fired so consistently. Of the last 5 coaches of the year, one guy has not lost his job. Who is it? It's that guy. It's that guy right there. It's him. He's the only guy to not get fired. And I'm not saying Thibodeau should get fired off the New York Knicks, but the man has to adjust. The Knicks have to tell him. Someone has to tell him. It has to be Leon Rose because Leon and Tibbs are tight. He has to go up to Tibbs and be like, dude, you have to play this bench. I don't care if you don't like the options. This is what we got right now. We're going to try to mend the fences at the trade deadline, but what if we don't? You have to knock this off or we are not going to succeed. Leon has to crack down on this or it is going to be a massive problem. I love the Knicks bringing up Pacome. Believe me, I see the comments. I understand. Pacome is not going to get minutes with the Knicks, but he should. Shouldn't he? It makes total sense that he should be getting minutes. Now, on the other side of things, another man who definitely should be getting minutes, the best rookie on the New York Knicks, is Ariel Hukporti. As mentioned by comments, please stop with the return of Alec Burks. Give Hukporti some more minutes. I will not stop with the return of Alec Burks. I want Alec Burks back on this team. But I also want Pacome. I do want Pacome getting minutes. But I also want Hukporti getting minutes, Charles Taylor. That's Sports Junkie 4827. Earth to Tibbs. Unleash the Beast Hukporti. I like that comment. Why? Because he's absolutely right. You have other fans saying, why are you completely ignoring Hukporti? The only reason I ignore Hukporti in the video that we're talking about is simply because I know Tibbs does not want to play him. I know the Knicks don't want him to play because they want to get him on a cheap contract this summer for 4 years so they can underpay him while he breaks out. It's a smart tactical move, but right now the Knicks are losing games, and I'm kind of fed up with that BS, and the Knicks should just sign him anyway. What, is Hukporti going to play for a few weeks, be nice, and then Mitchell Robinson comes back, and Hukporti's agent's like, well, he was good for 3 weeks, might as well give him $7 million per year. No! That's not going to happen. So Tibbs has to play Ariel Hukporti. The man is clearly better than Jericho Sims. It's an eye test thing. You look at him and you're like, oh yeah, which one's better? The guy who could dribble the basketball and attack the rim, the guy who makes great high post passes, the guy who does everything right except he doesn't ice screens correctly because he doesn't force guys to the baseline. Oh, boo-hoo, he doesn't play Tibbs' pick and roll defense perfectly. Jericho Sims doesn't play offense at all. Hukporti plays both ways. You gotta play him. The Knicks are in dire straits right now. You have to play Ariel Hukporti. There's no way around it. All the fans are right. The fans should be fired up, like the title says. Hukporti in the G League is not putting up numbers because he's mainly with the upper ball club with the New York Knicks, but he's putting up 7 points and 6 rebounds in limited minutes with the G. Only played 4 games down there. It's fine. I obviously the numbers aren't exciting because he's not getting real minutes. The Knicks are playing guys like Moses Brown over him because they're on the G League more permanently. Hukporti shows up once in a while to get run. Usually Hukporti's the guy who's not going down. I mean, Hukporti and Kolek are pretty much graduated full-time to the upper ball club being older guys. Pacome is 19 years old and he turned 19 fairly recently. He's not going to be 20 until next season. So, being one of the youngest guys in the draft, it's a little different why you're sticking him in the G. Makes some sense. But the Knicks need a forward, so time to call Pacome. Sorry, Tibbs. Sorry, Pacome, if you're not ready, but I think Pacome is ready, personally. I trust Pacome Dadiet more than I trust Landry Shamet, and I trust Pacome Dadiet to succeed more than I trust the New York Knicks with an 8-man rotation to succeed, where Mikal Bridges is playing 40 minutes a night like Luol Deng, and we all saw how that worked out when he played 80 games for 40 minutes a night. His knees fell apart, his body fell apart. In 2 years, the man was cooked. We don't need to see that out of Mikal Bridges, a man who loves basketball too much to stop himself. There's a reason to see how Mikal loves basketball. If he didn't, he would not have played every single game of his NBA career, knock on wood. He also would not be shooting the ball. He wouldn't be shooting half-court shots when the clock's running out. He wouldn't be heaving the ball. He's the only one who throws heaves on the New York Knicks. It's infuriating for me when people don't throw heaves. Mikal does it because he loves the game. Draymond Green said it perfectly. That's the perfect way to test. Is someone throwing a heave? Then they love basketball. If they're not, they like it. They don't love it. Which is a very interesting point, and I think Draymond Green is 100% spot on. Some guys are protecting their money. I don't see why Jalen Brunson doesn't toss heaves. Like, who cares? Dude, everyone knows how great you are. Same with Cat. Everyone knows how great you are. Toss that heave up, man. You guys are paid. You got a contract extension coming up for 4 years. You'll be fine. And it does bother me, but I'm also never going to say anything negative about Brunson or Towns because how well they've been playing this year. It's just a little gripe that I have with everyone on the Knicks, and I think Brunson and Towns have the most excuses to do it, along with Mikal Bridges, even though Bridges has a contract extension coming up, and that could cost him a couple mil. The man doesn't care. He's down to play basketball, but he's playing too much basketball, and the Knicks need to use this bench more, or it is going to continue to get problematic. Knicks fans are right to be upset. They have every right to be pissed off with Tom Thibodeau. I am pissed off with Tom Thibodeau. I'm really upset with the way this season's going. Everyone's been saying it right. The vibes are just not the same as last season. And I think the Knicks can easily get back to the good vibes. I think it's just a matter of figuring this thing out and not playing your starters 57 minutes a night to where you're physically and mentally fatiguing them. And Tom Thibodeau must be stopped, or the Knicks actually will have to explore firing him after this season. If the Knicks suffer an early loss this season because they're burnt out, I don't think Leon Rose is going to hold Tibbs on a long leash. I really don't. I think he'll try to move Tibbs to the front office, where Tibbs is an advisor who doesn't get to do anything because Tibbs is an awful GM, as we saw in Minnesota. So I think he'll do a nothing role because the Knicks will just move on from him, and they'll find someone else to coach the Knicks, probably Mike Brown, maybe Dice Yoshimoto, who would be next up if the Knicks, say the Knicks fired Tibbs today, Dice Yoshimoto would be the guy who comes in as the interim head coach. However, I'm curious to see what the Knicks do. Leon Rose is very, very, very good at his job, and I do trust Leon fully, but the Knicks have to do something about Tom Thibodeau. The man has lost his mind, and I think bringing up Pacome Dadiet, hopefully, because that is Leon's decision, hopefully is a call to be like, play your forward. You have one. But I just do not believe that it is, and it's really frustrating, guys. Let me know what you think down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. To anyone who didn't like the last video I put out because they felt like it's untimely or regurgitated, I apologize about that. I don't want to put out content that you guys don't enjoy. I'll take that one on the chin right there. I'll even slap myself in the face right now. I actually did that. That kind of hurt, dude. So subscribe, because I'm beating myself up for you guys. Go Knicks, baby.